I was lying on the hotel bed, listening to the couple in the next room getting intimate, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. What kind of damn soundproofing does this crappy motel have? I glanced at the time, 3:30 in the morning, and in my frustration, I fumbled for a lighter and lit a post-sex cigarette on behalf of the guy next door. Seriously, couldn't you two have taken care of business earlier? Isn't this disturbing the peace in the middle of the damn night? Bang! The door to the next room was kicked open, followed by a cacophony of crying, shouting, and smashing. Holy crap, someone's catching a cheater. I quickly threw on some clothes and went out to watch the drama unfold. The door across the hall was open, so I snuck a peek and saw a naked woman getting her hair pulled and her face slapped. The mistress was crying a river, looking utterly pathetic. The last time I'd seen her cry like that was when I proposed to her. I closed the distance in a couple of long strides, bursting right into their room, not to save my fiancé, but to plant my fist squarely on the face of the man who was standing there, looking like he wanted to say something but couldn't. Everyone in the room was stunned. Who the hell are you? The wife asked, pausing her slapping to look at me in confusion. It's cool, you carry on, don't mind me. I was about to throw another punch, but was held back by two other guys. I held up my hands to show I was done fighting, then pointed to the crying woman on the floor and said, "Her, that's my fiancée." The looks on everyone's faces were priceless. They'd seen cheaters get caught before, but never a joint operation by both wronged parties. I lit another cigarette. You slap my girl, I punch your husband. They both cheated, so it's perfectly fair, right? Hey man, calm down. Let's talk this out. Don't fucking start swinging. One of the guys with the wife stepped in front of me, looking like he wanted to stick up for her husband. Buddy, who the hell do you think you are? He clearly wasn't expecting me to be so aggressive. He raised an eyebrow and said, "You looking for a fight?" I was so full of rage right then, I really did want to fight, and I didn't care who it was with. Before he could get another word out, my fist was already flying. 3 minutes later, everyone in the room was too tired to fight anymore. I was bruised and battered, with a bleeding cut over my eye, but I didn't feel a thing as I sat in the corner, smoking. The wife came over, squatted down, and stared at the cigarette in my right hand, her expression unreadable. "Spit it out," she smiled, and it was actually a pretty nice smile. "So, how do you want to handle this?" "I don't care, whatever you want," I said, with the attitude of someone who had nothing left to lose. "Let's sleep together. That way, I get revenge on my husband, you get revenge on your fiancé, and we'll call it even." My half-smoked cigarette dropped to the floor. You could pump me full of 1,000 brain-boosting supplements, and I still wouldn't have come up with what this woman said next. "Are you freaking kidding me?" I stared at her like she was an idiot. "What do you mean?" she asked, not getting angry, or maybe she was just too numb from her husband's affair. "Your husband cheated because my fiancée is prettier and better in bed than you. Since I already have her, why would I bother with you?" That must have hit a nerve, because her brow furrowed. What's that supposed to mean? I took a closer look at her. Honestly, she wasn't bad-looking. There was something in her eyes that reminded me of my fiancée, though she was a few years older. I was only talking like that because I was pissed off and had nowhere to direct it. I wanted to blame her for not keeping her husband in line, but I had no right, since I obviously hadn't done a great job with my own fiancée. Once you're used to five-star dining, who wants to eat at a food truck? Get out. All of you, get the hell out. When this woman got angry, it was actually kind of terrifying. Jessica sat across from me, pressing a damp towel to her swollen cheek. Why? I didn't look up. I couldn't stand to see her face right now. The moment I saw her face, all I could picture was her moaning in another man's arms. No reason. There has to be a reason, right? Was I not good enough to you? You're a good guy. Hearing those words, I finally lost it. I'm a fucking good guy, and this is how you treat me? I fly over 1,000 miles for a business trip to fix a client's problem, only to walk in on my fiancé getting caught cheating. Is this what good guys get? I started yelling and smashing things, trying to let out all the frustration bottled up inside me. "Oh, so you do remember you're always on business trips? After I said yes to your proposal, how many days have you actually spent with me? Huh, for crying out loud." I laughed, completely infuriated. Why the hell do you think I go on these trips? Do we not need to buy a house? Don't we need money for the wedding? Where am I supposed to get that money if I don't travel for work? Have I ever taken trips this far before? You think I don't get damn tired of all this travel? Why am I killing myself working this hard? You don't think I'd rather be home with you? By the end, my lips were trembling as I fought back tears. Right, I haven't even asked. What does that son of a bitch you were sleeping with do for a living? He has more money and more time than you, that's for sure. I just shook my head. I got it, loud and clear. That was the bottom line. Oh, so it was about the damn money. I get it now. Get out. Go kiss some rich guy's ass, you tramp. She scoffed. You have some nerve to talk. What did I do? Have you been completely faithful to me? What the hell are you talking about now? Then what about that scar on your wrist? I instinctively touched my right wrist. I've told you 100 times, it's just a scar from when I was a kid. Can you please be rational for a second? Who gave it to you? Are you crazy? It wasn't that I was embarrassed into anger. I just felt like she was being completely irrational. I could swear on my life I had never been unfaithful to her. She was just grasping at straws to sling mud at me. Once I realized that, there was nothing left for me to hold on to. Just get out. She just sat there, not moving. Get out. She covered her mouth, crying, and slammed the door on her way out. I muttered, "You've got some nerve crying," as my own traitorous tears started to fall. I didn't sleep a wink, and my client meeting the next day was a complete disaster. Not only did the client chew me out, but the whole long-haul trip was a total waste. What the hell are you doing? My boss, Mike, called. The client must have complained to him. Nothing. Oh, really? Well, look around and see if there's a tall building, a river, or a lake nearby. Just jump. Don't hesitate. I'm sorry, Mike. Don't call me Mike. From now on, you can call me your bitch. The client just reamed me out so bad I feel like less than that. Are you trying to get yourself killed, kid? I sniffled. I'm sorry. Look, I'm not trying to bust your balls, but you're a tech guy. I know what you're capable of. This was a minor issue you should have handled in your sleep. How did you screw it up this badly? Mike, Jessica cheated on me. I caught her yesterday. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Damn it, man. So your fiancé cheated on you. Shouldn't you at least finish your job before you fall apart? She didn't cheat with me. So why the hell are you taking it out on my business? I'm sorry. Screw your sorry. What good does that do me now? You know what? Don't even bother coming in anymore. Again, there was silence on the line. Take a week off. Get your head straight. Then drag yourself back here. Keep all your receipts for the hotel and food. I'll reimburse you when you get back. Before I could even say thanks, Mike hung up. My traitorous tears started welling up in my eyes again. For the next few days, I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed cooped up in the motel, or I'd find a bar, get hammered, and then stumble back to the motel. Today, the moment I walked into a bar, I saw a familiar figure, the wife from the motel. On some strange impulse, I sat down across from her. She squinted, recognized me, and gave a slight smile. Bartender, get another glass. She poured me half a glass of vodka, then another for herself, and after a quick toast, she downed it in one go. So, you think you're too good for this? I thought she was still mad about what I'd said the other night, but then she slurred, "What are you, trying to raise fish in there?" It took me a second, but I got it and drained my glass. She immediately refilled it. The atmosphere was a little awkward. For a moment, neither of us knew what to say. "So, what's your name?" "Ethan." "Damn, my ex had that same damn name. My name isn't that common." "She must be really drunk. That bastard. Total scumbag." "Oh, so she was taking a roundabout way to insult me. My husband's a huge scumbag too. Damn, why do I only ever meet scumbags? And what should I call you?" I asked, changing the subject. "Chloe." "Right, a fancy name." We kept making small talk, and somewhere along the way, she just passed out on the table. I gave her a little shake to make sure she was asleep and not dead, and then wondered where the hell I was supposed to take her. "Sir, excuse me, would you be able to settle the tab?" "Huh? She didn't pay?" "No, sir." I tried shaking Chloe again, but she was out cold, occasionally mumbling something like, "Get your hands off me." Seeing the bartender's professional smile, his expectant gaze, and the twitching corner of his mouth, I was too embarrassed to ask him to wake her up for the money. "Ugh, how much is it?" "The total is $8,820, sir. You can just pay $8,800. Cash or card?" "See card." I stammered. Maybe I was drunker than I thought. My heart skipped a beat with every digit of the PIN I entered. This was my hard-earned money, damn it. "Hey, can you give me a—" "Actually, never mind." I was about to ask for a receipt for expenses, but then I imagined Mike seeing an $8,800 bar tab on my expense report and having an aneurysm. I piggybacked Chloe out of there. She was dead weight, completely limp, and I was sweating buckets by the time we got outside. Where the hell was I supposed to take her? The worst part was her warm breath on my ear, which was ticklish and uncomfortably hot. I set her down on a bench, loosened my collar, and took a breather. Looking at her flushed cheeks and the delicate necklace barely visible on her neck, a strange thought crossed my mind. I quickly looked away and shook my head hard to clear it. Nope, no woman is worth $8,800 for one night. As I turned my head, I saw a brightly lit hotel that seemed to be beckoning me over. "Hello, sir. Would you like a room with 2 beds, or a king? Whatever. Just give me whatever you've got." I just needed the front desk clerk to hurry up because I couldn't carry her another step, and I had a horrible feeling she was about to puke. If she puked on me, my night would be completely ruined. In that case, the clerk said, glancing at Chloe on my back, I'll get you a king room. Fine, fine, just hurry up. The other young woman at the front desk looked down and smirked, probably thinking I was ridiculously impatient. I couldn't be bothered to explain. You try carrying a drunk woman who's about to vomit and see if you're not in a hurry. The moment I dropped her onto the bed, a wave of relief washed over me. I had only packed one change of clothes for this trip, so getting puked on would have been a real problem. All right, you can just sleep like that. I wasn't about to pull some romantic movie stunt and try to undress a drunk woman. This was real life, and who knew where that could lead. I pulled the covers over her, left a bottle of water on the nightstand, and got ready to leave. Just before I left, I remembered something, found a pen and paper, and wrote her a note. Drinks were $8,800. The room was $500. I covered the $9,300 for you. Please transfer the money to me when you wake up. My account number is. After that, I quietly closed the door and left. As I went downstairs, I was still in a foul mood. I'd barely had anything to drink myself, but was out $9,300, with no idea if this woman had enough honor to actually pay me back. I walked past the front desk, fanning my face and wiping away sweat. The young woman from before muttered under her breath, all that rush, and he's already done. What? I spun around and stared at her. What did you just say? Her male co-worker quickly jumped in. The delivery. She was talking about her food delivery. She's starving and was just saying how fast it got here. Damn it. I was pissed, but there was nothing I could do about it. Hell, if I'd actually done something and been that fast, I'd own it. But I didn't do a single thing. The next day, there was no activity in my bank account. The third day, still nothing. On the fourth day, I got a text message reminding me my credit card payment was due. Day 5. Crap, time to go back to work. I have to admit, though, this whole fiasco with her had actually distracted me from my misery. I didn't feel quite as awful anymore. On second thought, the misery hadn't gone away, it had just shifted. It shifted from the misery of being cheated on to the misery of being out over $9,000. Life goes on. After deleting and blocking all of Jessica's contact info, I told myself it was all in the past, and I could start fresh. I went back to the office. I was back to being the old Ethan, the guy who slacked off occasionally, complained about business trips, and clocked out the second the day was over. The only weird thing was Mike, who said I was working like an old tractor, all fits and starts. I was either working like a madman or dragging my feet, and sometimes I'd just stall out completely. The truth was, I had just reverted to the person I was before I met Jessica. I figured my life would just continue on like that, a comfortable, muddled routine. But fate had other plans. One day, I was at my desk, feet up, eating a breakfast burrito and banging out code, when I saw Mike practically bowing and scraping as he escorted Chloe into our office. Maybe it was because I was such a sight to behold. She spotted me immediately, gave a small smile, and said something to Mike. Mike walked over to me, looking both embarrassed and utterly bewildered. Get to the conference room. The new major client wants to talk to you. With me? Yes. Now stop asking stupid questions, and let's go. Once we were all seated in the conference room, Chloe's eyes were practically glued to my face, which left Mike completely baffled. Ahem. Let me make some introductions. Mike began, standing up. This is our new major client, Miss Chloe. Then, gesturing to me. And this is our lead technician, Ethan. Mike then turned back to her. Ethan is just in charge of the technical side. He's not too familiar with the product specs. I'm not sure why you wanted him in this meeting. Let's just all chat together. I happen to enjoy talking about the technical details, she said to Mike, but her eyes never left me. All right then. In that case, feel free to ask anything you'd like to know, and Ethan and I will do our best to answer. Do you have time for dinner later? Chloe asked. I do. He's sick. The first answer was from Mike. The second was from me. Ethan, what are you talking about? Speak when you're spoken to. Mike then forced a laugh. Please don't mind him, Miss Chloe. Ethan hasn't been feeling well. He meant he's sick. I'll be happy to take you to dinner. It's fine, she said. I was asking him. Right, of course. I knew you were. Wait, what the hell? Mike had just, very uncharacteristically, sworn in front of a client. I want to ask you what exactly you did to me that night, she said, leaning forward until she was very close. That night? What night? Mike asked, looking back and forth between me and Chloe, clearly feeling like a third wheel. Allow me to present the evidence. I pulled out my phone and showed her a video. To avoid any trouble, I had recorded a continuous video from the moment I entered the hotel room to the moment I covered her with the blanket and closed the door behind me. In this day and age, you can't be too careful. After watching the video, the corner of Chloe's mouth twitched into a smirk, but I couldn't tell what she was thinking. Mike craned his neck, trying to see the screen, but the glare made it impossible. He ended up just sighing and rubbing his temples. So, since we're on the topic of that night, when are you going to pay me back the $9,300? What $9,300? Chloe and Mike asked in unison. You don't know? Of course I don't know. I shot Mike a glare. Who the hell asked you? I don't know either, she said, leaning back in her chair with a playful smirk. Excuse me, are we going to talk business or not? Or are you two just going to flirt all day? Shut up, Chloe and I snapped in unison. So you're saying you're not going to pay me back? Did I ask you to pay for me? Then I'm not working on this project. And I wouldn't want you on it anyway. Enough. Mike slammed his hand on the table. Damn it, Ethan, who's the boss here, you or me? I worked my ass off to land this project, and you're just going to throw it away? Who do you think you are? Then Mike turned to Chloe, apologizing profusely. I am so sorry, Miss Chloe. I apologize on Ethan's behalf. Please, reconsider. I'll sign. But he's having dinner with me tonight. Dinner, of course. Don't you worry, I'll handle it. I'll make him go if I have to shove it down his throat myself. After being threatened by Mike with docking 3 months' pay and simultaneously being bribed with a $20,000 bonus if the project succeeded, I agreed to have dinner with Chloe. So, is Chloe your only name? It feels a little formal. You can call me Chloe if you like. Nah, I think I'll just call you Welcher. She just smiled, not saying a word against it. Thank you for the other night. You're welcome. You can thank me by paying me back. Seriously? It's just $9,000. Is it really that big a deal to you? What do you mean just $9,000? I only make $8,000 a month. My ex-fiancé left me for your husband because I didn't have enough money. Well then, how about this? She said, leaning in again with a suggestive look that made me flinch away. I'll give you $20,000 a month. Let me be your sponsor. You're seriously nuts, I said, getting up to leave. You walk out that door, the deal is off. Who the hell do you think you're threatening? I snapped, and then immediately sat back down. The meal was tasteless. I don't know why, but being with this woman just set me on edge, like I'd wronged her in a past life, and she was here to collect. We didn't talk much. We just ate. After dinner, she gave me an address and told me to bring the contract over the next day for her to sign. Just like that. A person should always be true to their word. With the deal secured, I stopped worrying about the $9,300. Mike was a man of his word. If he promised a $20,000 bonus, I knew I'd get it. All in all, my paycheck was going to be a lot bigger this month. The next day, I was on another 1,000-mile flight to get the contract signed with Chloe. Her company, Apex Group, was impressive. I had no idea how Mike had managed to convince her to buy our products. Today she was dressed in a power suit, looking sharp and professional. The flirtatious air was gone, replaced by an aura of authority. After we went over the fine print and clauses of the contract, she started grilling me with technical questions. Turns out, the woman actually knew her stuff when it came to tech. I had to admit, I was impressed. Of course, tech is my specialty, so there was no way she was going to stump me. I'm surprised. You actually know what you're talking about. What did you expect? I said, slumping back in my chair before suddenly sitting bolt upright. I don't know why, but as frustrating as she could be, I felt strangely relaxed around her, like we were old frenemies. That little stunt I just pulled was something I'd never dare do in front of any other client. How about this? You quit your job and come work for me. I'll give you a base salary of $20,000 a month plus performance bonuses. What do you say? Trying to sponsor me again? No, you're worth it. I'm serious this time. Come work for my company as the technical director. Nah, forget it, I said, waving my hand. I'm doing just fine where I am with Mike. Why? Your boss only pays you $8,000 a month. That's an insult to your talent. I was quiet for a moment before explaining. It's complicated. Mike and I don't have a typical boss-employee relationship. When I hit rock bottom and couldn't even afford to eat, he was the one who helped me out. He taught me everything I know. The company's not doing so well right now, and it wouldn't be right for me to leave. Chloe nodded and didn't press the issue. Well, if you ever change your mind, you know how to reach me. Sure thing. Don't worry. I'd sooner jump off a building than jump ship to your company. With that, I grabbed the signed contract and walked out of the massive corporate building. I had barely reached the lobby when my phone rang. It was Mike, and he opened with, "You son of a bitch. What's wrong? Don't come back to the office. Fly straight to Chicago. We've got a problem with a client there. Go check it out." Okay, this time I didn't mess around. I knew the client in Chicago, Sterling Corp, was our biggest account. If something went wrong with them, the damages would be astronomical. Our company would go bankrupt overnight. Mr. Thompson, what seems to be the problem? Ethan, come here. Take a look at the garbage your company's software is spitting out for us. I got right to it, checking the software's backend first. Everything looked fine. I ran the program again. Still no issues. If there was a problem, it had to be in the source code itself, but I had overseen this software's development from start to finish. I'd even coded several of the modules myself. Besides, it had been on the market for years without a single issue. Mr. Thompson, there's nothing wrong with it, I said, the words sounding unconvincing even to my own ears, because according to the software's analysis, his company was on the verge of bankruptcy. Ethan, Mr. Thompson said with a bitter laugh, we've been working together for a long time. You've seen the scale of this company. I can't show you my financial reports, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that we are solid. And now you're telling me we're about to go bankrupt. Mr. Thompson, that's not what I mean. The software analyzes big data and uses AI to integrate the calculations. It's not saying your company will definitely go bankrupt, but that it's, at risk of bankruptcy. Oh, wonderful. So I spend all this money on your useless software every year just for it to tell me I'm doomed? What was it that the contract said again? Mr. Thompson, please, calm down. Mr. Thompson shoved me aside, picked up his desk phone, and had someone bring in the contract. He then started flipping through it violently, stabbing his finger at a specific clause. It says right here that if the data deviation exceeds 30%, you are liable for damages. That's in the contract, isn't it? Then he flipped to the next page. And compensation is based on the financial losses incurred by our company. Correct? He then turned to his computer. Your software predicts my company will be bankrupt within 6 months. If Sterling Corp is still standing in 6 months, you just wait and see what happens. Please, Mr. Thompson, it's just one possible outcome. You don't have to. I don't care about outcomes. My company bought your product, and we will follow the contract. Don't blame me for being harsh. You go back and ask Mike what he promised me, and then ask him why he delivered me this pile of crap. I have other matters to attend to. You can see yourself out. When I got back to the office, Mike looked like he had aged 10 years. He was slumped in his chair, chain-smoking. It's impossible. How could it be possible? I hung my head and smoked too, not knowing what to say. It really is impossible. We've been using this software for years. How could a problem this serious just pop up now? Do you think someone is trying to sabotage us? I shook my head. Mike was just panicking. How? We're a small-time company. Who would even bother? Besides, you know the tech side of things. If someone messed with our software, wouldn't we see some trace of it in the back end? Then, could Sterling Corp actually be going bankrupt? I had to laugh. Are you out of your mind? A company that big doesn't just go bankrupt overnight. Then I brought him back to reality. We have 6 months before the Sterling deadline. We can figure that out later. The immediate problem is, do we keep selling this software? And do we recall the units we've already sold? I took a long drag from my cigarette. If we recall it, can we afford the breach of contract penalties? If we don't, and another Sterling situation happens, can we survive it? I paused. The contract we just signed with Apex Group is for this same product. If we recall it, the penalty from that contract alone would be enough to sink us. Apex Group, Chloe's company. The contract was for this exact product. Mike stared into space, looking completely stunned. Ethan, you know the CEO of Apex, right? Maybe you could go talk to her. I sighed. There was no way I could refuse him. It was true that I was the only one who could handle this, but the thought of dealing with her again gave me a headache. The woman was constantly flirting, always making those sponsorship offers. Look, I could deal with that. What can I do for you this time? Ready to jump ship already? No, Miss Chloe. I'm here to discuss a business matter with you. It's not every day you speak to me so politely. I explained the whole situation to her, basically saying that the product in our contract had a minor issue and needed some adjustments. I asked if it would be possible to delay the delivery. If she was in a hurry, we could offer a full refund, maybe even with some extra compensation. And what if I say no? Look, we know each other. Please, be the bigger person and cut us some slack. I had no idea what she was thinking. She just kept staring at me with that smile, and it was starting to creep me out. Fine, on one condition. I'll give you $20,000 a month to be my kept man. You agree, and I'll agree to the delivery delay. What? Which kind of kept man? The one where I come work for you as technical director. No, the first kind. I had to force myself to swallow the words, you're insane. Miss Chloe, please, have a heart. Don't make this difficult for me. What's the problem? Am I not good enough for you? Am I not as pretty as your ex? Not as good in bed? Or is it that I don't have enough money? I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I apologize. That day, I was being an idiot. Please don't hold it against me. She rose from her executive chair and stood in front of me. I started to get up, but she pushed me back down and lifted my chin with her index finger, which smelled faintly of flowers. I have to say, I prefer the defiant you. Before I could respond, she sat back down. Tell me the details. Which company is having the issue? Miss Chloe, we have a non-disclosure agreement. Fine, keep your agreement. You can go back and keep your secrets to yourself. I had no choice. I told Chloe about the situation with Sterling Corp and the problems with their software. She didn't interrupt, just listened, occasionally jotting something down and smiling to herself. When I was done, she said she agreed to the delay and that I could leave. I was surprised she agreed so easily. We knew each other, but we certainly weren't friends. If anything, there was a bit of tension between us. I was actually touched that she was helping me. A big company like hers probably didn't care about the penalty fee, but still, nobody turns down free money. Thank you so much. On behalf of my company, I really appreciate it, I said, giving her a small bow. I told you, I prefer the defiant you. Keep this up and I might just change my mind. I didn't dare say another word and practically flew out of her office. When Mike heard the news, the worry on his face finally eased a bit. As long as we weren't in breach of contract on this deal, our company's cash flow wouldn't be severed. We had some breathing room. Our final decision was to halt sales of the product immediately. For existing clients, we would continue maintenance and monitor the situation closely. A full recall was a loss we simply couldn't afford. Thankfully, our company had managed to survive, at least for now. For the next few months, I had basically no personal life. I was constantly on the road, pushing our company's other products and services, trying to generate more cash flow to brace for the inevitable fallout from Sterling Corporation. Mike was running himself into the ground, sleeping only a couple of hours a night and chasing down projects all over the country. A month before the Sterling deadline, we got some good news and some bad news. The good news, Sterling Corp went bankrupt. The bad news, Mike got sick. The even worse news, Mike's illness was serious. Even if we used all the money we would have had to pay Sterling, it might not be enough to cover his medical bills. I sat by Mike's hospital bed, peeling an apple. When I finished, he didn't want it, so I started eating it myself. It's a good thing, really. The company's safe now. We don't have to pay Sterling. Mike, maybe we should sell the company. Use the money for your treatment. Are you kidding me? The company isn't just mine to sell. Let's sell it. I'll go talk to the team. They'll agree. Sell my ass. How much would we even get for it? Even with the money, there's no guarantee it would cure me, and then everyone would be out of a job. I sniffled. We'd all find other jobs. Like hell you would. It's true. A company offered me $20,000 a month to leave, and I turned it down. What company is blind enough to offer you 20 grand? He broke into a violent coughing fit, and I quickly patted his back to help him catch his breath. Seriously though, was that software you developed really that good? It predicted Sterling would go bankrupt, and it actually happened. Nah, what's so great about it? I think we just got lucky. The software is still buggy. I don't know. I have a feeling that the software was right all along. Just rest. You're so out of breath. I'm afraid you'll keel over just from talking. I left the room and hid in the fire escape stairwell, trying my best not to let the sobs escape. The last time I cried this hard was when I found out about Jessica. My phone rang. It was Chloe. I cleared my throat before answering. Hello. I heard Mike is sick. Yeah. Why don't you come work for me? Your company doesn't have much going on right now, and you need to earn money for Mike's treatment, don't you? Okay. This time, I didn't refuse. I knew she was right. Once I started at Chloe's company, I threw myself into my work. She knew I was in a bad place, so she stopped teasing me. Whenever she sought me out, it was strictly for business or technical discussions. For the first time, I started to develop genuine feelings for Chloe. I even started to think that if she hadn't just been joking with all her offers, maybe the two of us could actually be good together. But I quickly dismissed the unrealistic thought. That was just her personality, always joking around. I'd be the last person to believe she could actually be interested in me. If she was interested in anything, it was my technical skills. At the end of the month, Chloe handed me a debit card. I didn't understand. I'm paying you back. For what? The $9,300 you covered for me that night. I smiled and took it without protest. I really needed the money. When I got to an ATM and checked the balance, there was $100,000 in the account. I immediately called Chloe. $9,300 is to pay you back. The rest is a loan. Use it for Mike's treatment for now. Just remember to pay me back someday. And with that, she hung up. I clenched my fists, an indescribable feeling washing over me. Mike's condition stabilized, but it was the kind of illness that required a constant stream of money just to keep him going. The doctors recommended surgery, but the cost was exorbitant. It was more money than Mike and I could ever scrape together. Still, this outcome was far better than I had anticipated. The only thing left to do was make money. Mike's old company still had a lot of people to support and was barely breaking even. The real breadwinner, the one saving up money, was me. I suddenly started to understand Jessica a little. There are certain moments in life when not having money simply isn't an option. Her choice to abandon morals in pursuit of money wasn't entirely inhuman. It was just a different set of priorities. Chloe had helped me out several times, and my feelings for her were growing stronger. I had to admit, the woman was incredibly charismatic. She was capable, beautiful, and when she wasn't teasing me, she was actually a wonderful person. After work, I'd sometimes have dinner with her, or we'd go for a walk, and she would reveal a softer, more feminine side. She'd stop dead in her tracks for a pretty balloon, or haggle with a street vendor over a trinket. I'd stand a little ways off, just watching her, and under the streetlights, her long shadow would fall right across my chest. It's my birthday tomorrow. Have dinner with me. Okay. The next day, she took me to a 5-star restaurant, where the staff's overly enthusiastic service made me a little uncomfortable. What can I get for you two this evening? I didn't say a word. I didn't even recognize the names of the dishes on the menu. Just bring us your house specialty to start, Chloe said without even looking at the menu. Of course, right away. The specialty was steak, not a very large cut. There were 2 waiters standing behind us, and every time I finished a bite, one of them would cut another piece and place it on my plate. It was so distracting I could barely eat. First time at a 5-star restaurant, Chloe teased, noticing my discomfort. Yeah. Is it good? I chewed thoughtfully. The steak was tender, but bland, even with the sauce. There was also a faint metallic taste of blood. Maybe this is what rich people liked. It's okay. I didn't have the guts to say it was bad, afraid she'd think I was ungrateful. Yeah, I think it's just okay too. Let's go somewhere else. To my utter astonishment, Chloe grabbed my hand, pulled me out of the restaurant, and led me to a food truck, where she ordered a ton of skewers. I couldn't imagine a successful, powerful CEO like her eating from a food truck. Try this. I took a bite and grinned like an idiot. It was delicious. She clinked her beer against mine and downed the whole thing in one go. So, do you still think that once you're used to 5-star dining, you can't enjoy a food truck? So that's what this was about. This woman really knew how to hold a grudge. All right, you win. I'll drink to that. We had a much better time drinking this time, with plenty to talk about. When we were both pleasantly buzzed, her face started to flush, looking exactly as it had that night when I carried her on my back. I thought to myself that spending my life with her would be a very happy thing. Come see me off tomorrow. Where are you going? To the East Coast. What for? I'm moving. I'm not coming back. The skewer I was holding fell to the ground. I quickly picked it up while she wasn't looking, blew it off, and took another bite. Why so suddenly? It's not that sudden. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I only stayed here to wait for someone. I didn't find them, so I'm done waiting. I'm going home. I don't know why, but hearing her say that made my heart ache. Was she talking about me? It was possible, but I didn't have the courage to ask who she was talking about. It was more likely I was just flattering myself, dreaming way out of my league. Do you want to come with me? I can wait a few days for you. Was that a hint? Was I the person she had been waiting for? But then my thoughts turned to Mike. I can't. I have to stay here and take care of Mike. She took another bite of her food, nodded, and finished her beer. Come see me off tomorrow. I have a gift for you. I didn't move, just kept eating. The delicious food suddenly tasted like ash in my mouth. At the airport, she handed me a large envelope and told me not to open it until after her plane took off. She said it was a gift. I wasn't thinking about the gift. I just wanted to look at her for as long as I could. You're really not coming back? You're really not coming with me? I smiled, and she smiled back. I guess we both had our reasons. So this is goodbye then? I asked, looking into her beautiful eyes. I suppose so. Barring any surprises, yes. How about a hug? I asked, opening my arms. She took an exaggerated step back and crossed her arms, looking at me like I was some kind of creep. Just kidding. Forget the hug. Give me your arm. I didn't understand why, but I did as she said and held out my arm. She grabbed my hand, bit down hard on my wrist, and then, laughing, she let go and ran into the boarding area. I looked down at the fresh bite mark on my wrist, a perfect circle around the old scar that was already there. Her skipping figure slowly merged with a memory deep inside me. Why do you have to leave? Because we're moving. Does that mean we won't see each other anymore? Of course we will. I'll come back and find you. Promise. I promise. Or, you could just come with me. I can't. I have to stay and take care of my mom when she gets older. What if I come back and you don't recognize me? Then, I'll bite you. So when I come back, I'll see my bite mark and I'll know it's you. Okay, don't be scared, it might hurt. Ow, that hurts. Wah, look at those two, still roughhousing even now. It's alright, they're just playing. A little bite is nothing, my mom said, ruffling Chloe's hair. Are you going to miss me? Chloe didn't say anything, just looked at me as big tears rolled down her cheeks. It's getting late, we have to get going, her mom said. Drive safe, Chloe's mom called, waving to us. My mom bundled me into the car, and I pressed my face against the back window to watch Chloe. As the car started to move, Chloe pulled her hand away from her mom's and started running after us. Ethan, you'll come back for me, right? You promised you'd come back and marry me, right? That year, I was 5 and Chloe was 4. I broke my promise. I never went back to find her. It was my fault for treating a childhood promise like a joke, for dismissing that childhood sincerity as immaturity. No wonder she said her ex-boyfriend was named Ethan and that he was a total scumbag. No wonder her company was 1,000 miles away, yet she still sought out Mike. No wonder she was always saying people should be true to their word. No wonder she was always teasing me. No wonder she always helped me. She had recognized me all along. That day in the motel room, when I was sitting on the floor smoking, she wasn't staring at my cigarette. She was staring at the bite mark scar on my wrist. My hands shaking, I pulled out my phone and called her. She declined the call. I called again. She didn't pick up. I sent her an iMessage. You're Chloe. My Chloe, aren't you? Why didn't you tell me sooner? I wanted you to fall for the person I am now. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. I'm truly sorry. That was when we were kids. It's all in the past. There's nothing to be sorry for. Are you coming back? She didn't answer my question directly. Instead, she asked me one. Did you open your gift? I quickly tore open the envelope. Inside was a thick stack of documents. Chloe had bought Mike's company and signed it over to me. The employees, the business, the company structure, everything was left untouched. This way, Mike would have the money for his treatment, and none of the employees would lose their jobs. At first, I could read the words on the documents, but then my vision started to blur until I couldn't see anything at all. I wiped away my tears. Thank you. You're welcome. Your company's software is actually incredible. Apex Group was already planning to drive Sterling into bankruptcy. We never expected your software to predict it. And those idiots at Sterling didn't even believe it. You're the ones who bankrupted Sterling? Yes, but it wasn't to help you. It was part of our business plan all along. Are you coming back? No, I'm not. I sniffled. So you're just going to sponsor me and then abandon me? When did I ever sponsor you? You pay my salary. You gave me my company. You solved all my problems. How is that not sponsoring me? Haha, fine. If I get the chance in the future, I'll sleep with you once to make it official. When are you coming back? Barring any surprises, I'm probably not coming back. I gave you plenty of chances, didn't I? She was right. She had given me so many chances, so many hints, both obvious and subtle. Last night, she had all but asked me outright. And what about me? I never realized it was her. How could I possibly have the nerve to bother her now? Plane's about to take off. Turning off my phone now. Take care of yourself, Ethan. Maybe we'll see each other again someday. The next day, I received another message. It was from Chloe. How does it feel to lose something? It hurts. Do you regret not coming back for me all those years ago? I do. Do you regret not saying yes when I asked you to come with me? Yes. Good. As long as you regret it. I was just messing with you. I'm just here on a business trip. I'll be back next week.